In the 40s, when the studios owned theaters, there was like this sort of cultural generational shift, and everything started to change in the 50s. And so what Hollywood was morphed into something else. And so all of these new filmmakers kind of came up out of nowhere, independent guys like, Cassavetes. And, they made these films that weren't as expensive, but they were more authentic and real, and they were gritty, and they were about characters. And we got these amazing actors that came out of that, like Dennis Hopper and Jack Nicholson. And then Hollywood saw what was happening and found ways to market it correctly and turn it into an empire, and it became great again, And then I think what's happening now is these movies they're either enormous or they're tiny. There's no sort of mid-level movie anymore. They're still out there, but they're sort of few and far between. And I think what ends up happening is you spend so much money on so much stuff and glitter, and the films, they do well, but they don't always do well enough, But the thing that's always affordable is story. Story doesn't cost a lot. You just have to have one, and you have to put it down on paper, and you have to be true to the script, and you have to film it well. And that, I think, will become a very popular commodity. A wonderful special effect for film is having a great story. So you have these filmmakers now, they don't have the money. They don't have the money for green screens and special effects and, robots flying in the sky. These guys that are coming out of everywhere, all these different little pockets in the world. They just have a passion for telling these stories and making film. And there's a lot of really great ones out there. And that's their special effect. It's story. That's how they're gaining their audience. So to me, that's the big special effect. That's the big up and coming special effect in the film world, is story.
What about for serialized content? Because before it was just sitcoms or, weekly, hour-long dramas maybe. But now people are doing this binge viewing, and it just seems like it's taking over in some sense.
I think it's great. I mean, it's great. And again, I love television, so it is kind of a cool thing to be able to see an entire season, in the course of an evening, to watch an entire, thing play out. I think it's great. But again, it's only great if the story's great, I mean, for the longest time, I'm a perfect example in just how I view things personally. I did not watch The Walking Dead forever because I have a problem with zombies in stories. To me, it's a dumb, a zombie's an idiot. It's a dumb thing. It just, so you shoot it and that's it. I understand there's a lot of them, but then that just becomes redundant. So I don't see how it's a good story, because zombie is not a compelling villain to me, because it's a dumb nothing. So it's not a compelling villain. So you're like, oh my, you gotta see The Walking Dead. I was like, yeah, okay. So what happens? The zombies come and then they kill the zombies? Awesome, fantastic, that's good, I'll pass. And then I finally watched it. And it's an amazing story about survival and desolation. It's not about the zombies, And that's why it's so good, because it's amazing stories and wonderful characters. To watch that play out over the course of a full season in a serialized drama, or to watch it unfold, in a film, whether you're watching it on your phone or on an airplane or in a huge IMAX, it's great. Everybody loves a great story. When people talk about moments in their lives, they talk about the story of what happened. It's like, how'd you get engaged? Oh, it's a great story. That's what they tell you. They don't just go, well, here's the ring, I got engaged. Everybody's interested in the story of it. How did it happen? Like what, you go over to someone's house and they've got something sitting on the bookshelf. It's like, how'd you get that? Oh, it's a great story. And that's what we love. That's what we look for. That's what we want, So yeah, have the spacemen fly around and shoot lasers at the Death Star or whatever. Just tell a good story while you're doing it. It's the most important special effect to me. Story.